So I've been having a issue with my iDrive. I have a 2011 M3 E90. It's the CIC, not the CCC. But either way, the fix is the same for both systems. The CIC, I think, goes all the way up to like 2016, so they're pretty relevant. But anyway, here's the issue I've been having. It sucks, and you know me. If you watch my channel, I do everything possible. I try to do it myself, DIY. And unfortunately, after some very intense research, diving into the forums, this is the one thing that you cannot fix on your own. And it's one of my biggest fears with newer cars. More and more parts, unfortunately, have to be sent off to specialized places to fix these electrical gremlins, if you will. Luckily, the E90 bridges the gap between old and modern, so you're not going to have too many of these issues. But unfortunately, this is not something you could do yourself. So after intense research, I found a company called BMW. They're based in Texas, and they're the only ones in the United States that know how to fix this issue correctly. I reached out to several different vendors, some in the United States, some not in the United States. Even though these guys were the most expensive, they had the best track record of fixing it properly. The CCC system you could buy used for a few $100s on eBay or whatever, literally like $200 or $300. The issue is you have to code it to your car. So that's going to cost you another $300 to $400. If you go to BMW, it's going to cost you $500 or $600. Now you're at like $800, something like that. And your system will crash again because the fix hasn't happened yet. So this guy charges $780, I think it was, $780 for CCC. It's less for CIC. But anyway, I decided, you know what? Let me do this right. On my channel, as you know, I like to do things right. I don't take any shortcuts. Everything is done by the book or better. No shortcuts, as you know. That's always how it's been, and it will continue to be. So I'm going to show you how I took it out of the car, how I shipped it to him in Texas, and the stuff that he does, because it truly is good. And I also am going to tell you why I didn't send it overseas. And that's because if you actually look at the track record of some of these people in Europe that do it, wherever the heck they are, Lithuania or whatever, they charge like $300. The shipping's probably $100 to get it there, maybe a little bit more, but so you're at like $400 all in. The thing is, in order to properly fix this unit, there are several different components on the logic board that need to be replaced and soldered. The solder from the factory is not regular solder. It's some sort of like high temperature, very, very specialty solder that these companies overseas don't use. And it's actually very, very small, the soldering points. If you look at other people's reviews, their logic boards maybe last 6 months to a year. They take out the CCC unit or CIC unit, take it apart, and when they notice the repair, the logic board has actually been burnt to a crisp and warped because they didn't know what they were doing. So I highly, highly recommend doing it right. This guy in Texas, BMW, he has special equipment to do this. He's not just some guy using a soldering stick. It's a special machine specific for this type of logic board, and it really needs to be done correctly. So don't sleep on this. Make sure you do it right. He's not, and I want to be clear, I have barely any subscribers. He's not a sponsor of this channel by any means. I just don't want to see you guys get ripped off. I didn't even really get to speak to him because I actually messaged him and I'm like, hey, I want to make a video. He's like, I'm so busy with units that I don't need advertising. And I was like, you know what? That's fair, whatever. I just want my unit to be fixed right anyway. So I sent it to him regardless. So again, this video is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. I just truly, truly believe in what he is doing. And hopefully we get the CIC unit back in perfect working condition. And he actually mentioned to me that he upgrades the CIC system while it's there. So he said that he's going to put 2023 maps on, which is great because where I live, there's several different roads that are pretty new that are not in the system. And he's going to add BMW apps and Sirius XM radio, which is sweet because these cars came from the factory with Sirius radio, but you had to pay BMW like $1,500 or maybe even more back in 2010 for them to literally just code it in. So the CIC system actually has XM radio in it. It's literally just not turned on. So he's going to turn that on. He's going to update it for 2023 maps. And he's going to add BMW apps, which if you're a E9X nut, you know that didn't come until 2012. A lot of people, they specifically look for E90 M3s that are 2011.75. And literally the only difference is these BMW apps on the iDrive. That's the only difference between a 2011.5, which I have, and a 2011.75. So now I'm going to have a 0.75, if you will, which I'm looking forward to. So we'll see when the unit comes back. But first I'm going to show you how to take it out, and I'm going to show you how to send it to the guy because he has some pretty big instructions. And sorry for the long intro. Typically I like to jump right in and just work on it. I usually don't do intros, but it is what it is. I really needed to explain this to you guys so you do it properly, because there are a lot of rip-off artists out there doing the fix for the CIC and CCC, and I don't want to see anyone get taken advantage of. So do it right the first time, because if they warp your logic board, you need an entire new CIC or CCC system, and that's going to cost you way more money the second time around. So let's get to it. So step one is you're going to want to get a tool, get behind here by the start button, behind the trim, and just pry it a little bit. In my case, I could just use my finger because my clip is on the older side, and then just pop it out. Be careful, don't take it all the way off. There's wires in here, so just pop it off a little bit, and that's all you need to do for step one. Step two is you need to take this guy out, and it just slides out pretty easily. So if you get your fingers in here and pull, it'll come out. I gotta do this off camera, hold on. So once we get this out, there's gonna be 3 plugs. And what you do with these guys is you push this down here with one finger, and then with the other finger, you pull it back, and then it pops out. So you slide this way while pushing that down. Obviously, I can't do it right now because I'm holding the camera. Same thing with this. You push on this here, and you slide that back. And then this one is annoying. You have to get a little screwdriver. There's 2 clips on both sides. And then you pull it, and it will come out. Next, what you want to do is you want to pull out this trim piece here. And you have to be pretty careful because it's also this bottom piece. It's actually not easy to pull out. But the first thing you do is you take this up here, this clip, and that's kind of how you get it going. And then you really have to get on it pretty hard, and you have to watch your fingers as well. And then it comes off. As you can see, these metal tabs go all the way in, and it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. And then I just leave this to the side for now while I'm taking the radio out, because there is wires in here. I don't want to go through rerouting the whole thing, you know, it's kind of a pain. So just put it off to the side. And then lastly, to get the radio out, there's 4 screws. Here, 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 and here. Once you remove those Phillips head screws, the radio comes out. Just watch the connectors in the back. And let me do this off camera. Then when the 4 screws are out, you literally just take it and pull it out. If you have a DCT, be careful. If you have a manual, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pull it into 2nd or 4th gear to give yourself a little extra room. It's tough to do this with one hand, so hold on one sec. So it's nearly impossible to film and do this, even hold this, because it's pretty heavy. But I'll sneak the phone back. You can see there's the pink and the yellow, this big guy right here, and then pink and blue on this side. Once you get those out, you're good to go. Here we go. This is exciting. It's packaged quite nicely. Much better than how I did it. I don't even know if something's in here or if we'll figure that out. Wow. They packaged this up way better than I did. All right. Let's see. This is wild. All right, let me cut this camera down for a minute. All right, so it's been a solid 2 weeks since I first sent this radio out, and I now have it back, which is quite unbelievable that he got it done so quickly. It is my radio, not somebody else's, because of the sticker we put here with my information. Anyway, this is nice. So he put this sticker, so you have the 1-year warranty. They took the faceplate off, which was in that other package, so I'll reconnect that. Taped it down, very nice. Faceplate is in here, so let me put the faceplate on and we'll throw it in the car. But just a quick note, as I said before, he gave me satellite radio and apps, and he updated the maps for 2023. Now, if you know anything about the E90 M3, the 2011s, people go nuts over the 0.75 rather than the 0.5. The only difference between a 2011.5 and a 2011.75 is the apps. So now that I have apps on my CIC, I guess I have a 2011.75, I guess. So all the people that are like, oh, I have a 0.75, oh, yeah, good for you, buddy. Anyway, my CIC unit had Sirius. BMW deactivates it from the factory, and then you just pay them back in 2011 stupid amounts of money for them to turn it on. But it's already in the unit, so now I have satellite radio and apps. So let's get the faceplate on and go from there. Let's pop this out a little bit. Then take this one down here. I need both hands. Well, maybe not. Yeah, I need both hands. All right, take the faceplate off. You lift these tabs up and then it just comes out, and then there's these two things on the side. Squeeze, push. It's a little annoying, but it's not that bad. Tuck these in a little bit because we don't want any damage to them, because this next part could get a little aggressive, just a little bit. And you want to grab in there, pull slightly, be careful. There's a connector that goes in here for the button down there, but just, you know, nice and easy. Use a little leverage. Ah, fuck. I think I cut myself. Ow, that hurts. Every time I work on my car, every time I get hurt. Anyway, this, just leave it alone. Like, you know, tuck it to the side. Don't let it hang though. Have it resting on your knee or something. And now we're gonna take this, put it back in. I'm gonna need both hands. The wires are pretty self-explanatory as they're all color coordinated. So, you know, just put the wires in accordingly, and let's see if it works. So slide her back in, and then there's 4 screws. There is one down here, one there, one down there, and one there. I kept them in here for the last 2 weeks. So let's do one by one. Now line the faceplate up properly and push it in. It's 1, 2, be gentle. You don't have to go too crazy with it. Okay. And the screen is turning back on, but I still didn't put this in, so give me 1 second here. All right, here we go. Everything works. So now if I go to radio, I have satellite. This is fantastic. Look at that. That was not there before. And now, if I go to connected drive, here's BMW apps. Don't really know what they do. Probably never gonna use them, but here they are. And then, let's check the nav to see the map. 2023 maps. So that's pretty awesome. It's never been great. There we go. Yeah, it's never been the maps have never been too quick, but it works. Bottom line, it does in fact work. Really great experience with these guys. I mean, really, really awesome. I really can't thank them enough, to be quite honest. The turnaround time was insane. I mean, I shipped it 2 weeks to the day almost, and I was expecting to be without a radio for over a month. And I honestly am quite surprised. They got it. Took like 4 days to get to Texas, which is where they're located, and they fixed it in like 2 or 3 days. Yeah, and they said they were backed up, but all right, cool. Got it back, 2 weeks flat. Everything works, 1 year warranty. Couldn't thank these guys enough, and I'm super happy that they, at no extra charge, gave me the updated 2023 maps, the apps, and satellite radio. Now, if you have a CCC, you probably don't have satellite. I have CIC, so satellite's already built in. He just had to turn it on. So I'm super thrilled, and hopefully this never happens again. But if it does, I know where I'm going. So and anyway, if you want to reach out to BAV Tech, I'm going to leave a link in the description. Again, they're not sponsored. I did this on my own. They're the only guys in the United States with a good track record. And until next time, peace.